Good afternoon, viewers, and welcome to this very special session on Metalworld Annual Issue 2025. As we know, as you all know, Metalworld started in 2001, is in its 25th year now, and for a lot of years, many years, we have started a practice of making an annual issue in the month of January and February. And this is being followed for many years. And this annual issue is, quite elaborate. We touch upon many subjects related to non-ferrous metals and foundry industry. We touch upon technological aspects. We touch upon market dynamics. And statistical section is also quite elaborate. And most important is we make you meet a lot of experts in the industry, veterans, share their experiences, share their views and insights about the industry, and this makes this annual issue very special. So this annual issue of 2025 was also a very special issue, and I am sure a lot of you must have preserved it, read it with interest, and I am sure it must have helped you in your decision making on a short term as well as long term basis. So, from this year, we have started a new tradition. We are starting a new tradition, in fact, to have an interactive session with the contributors of this special issue, this annual issue. And for that, we have very exclusive team of contributors here. And I would like to welcome, first of all, a very veteran person in the industry, Mr. Pugazhenththy. He is currently Executive Director of Indian Lead and Zinc Development Association. He was past president of Indian Institute of Metals. So that makes Mr. Pugazhenththy one of the very few people who have the full insight of the whole metallurgical sector. So thank you, Mr. Pugazhenththy, for sparing your time and being with us for this very special session. Thank you. We have with us Mr. Mayur Karmarkar, who is heading Indian Copper Association in India. Thank you, Mr. Karmarkar, for your time, and we would be asking you about the copper insights, and I'm sure you'll be happy to share them. Then we have Mr. D.K. Chauhan. Mr. D.K. Chauhan is from IIT Mumbai. He's a IIT Mumbai product, and he's a consultant, and he's a metallurgical consultant, very senior metallurgical consultant. And he has written about the present status and the future prospects of aluminum industry in the country. So thank you very much, Mr. Chauhan, for sparing your time. And we would be happy to hear insights about aluminum industry from you.
Thank you.
Then we have, thank you. Then we have Mr. Jogi from MCX, and he is from research and development division of MCX, and he would be telling us why we should, what is the what are the activities of MCX in the area of risk mitigation of the metals. So he would be, telling us details about that. Thank you very much, Mr. Jogi, for sparing your time and being with us for this exclusive session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for inviting us. I hope it is going to be a wonderful session.
Yeah. So in all, we have very eminent, team of experts who would focus on different aspects of metallurgical industry, and I'm sure we are looking forward to a very insightful interaction with these experts. First of all, I would like to, go to Mr. Pugazhenththy and ask him about the overall session. But before that, let me tell you, sir, let me tell my perspective in a very small way, that as my logic is like this, sir. India is on a growth, the Indian economy is on a growth track that everybody would anybody would not disagree. And if India has to grow, the infrastructure development is at the center of the Indian economy's growth. And if infrastructure development is at the center, the infrastructure development no one can imagine without the use of metals. So if India has to grow, if infrastructure has to grow, then the metals industry has to grow, and metals industry has to support this infrastructure growth and the economic growth. Then only India will, be able to grow, and maybe what international agencies are predicting the growth rate as 6.8, somebody predicting 7. So in that range, if we have to grow in that range, then our metals industry, metallurgical industry, metals like aluminum, copper, of course, has to support these infrastructure development and the economic growth. This is my logic, and on this, I would like to go to Mr. Pugazhenthy. And sir, what are your thoughts on this? How would you say, what is the status of metals industry? What are the advantages? What are the challenges we are facing? Anything required from the policy making side? I would like to ask you, sir. Please.
Thank you, Chandekar. Very nice. You were giving very positive remarks, motivating remarks about me and my work. Very pleased to see Karmarkar and Mr. Chauhan and also Kamlesh Jogi today this evening. I've been seeing Metalworld from 2001 and also Steel World, and that is one of the best exclusive technical journals with data also, production, consumption, global trend, sectorial growth, foundry, etc., steels, aluminum, lead, zinc, etc. And that way I must compliment you. In addition to your magazine, you are also doing many conferences and seminars in India and Dubai, etc. I remember your Foundry Congress and Aluminum Extrusion Summit, etc. You have a small team, but you are doing much more than what one would be able to deliver such a small, compact team. Congratulations. And the Metal News, Metal World, the recent annual issue, I was a part of that magazine. You had sent me a list of questions for interview, my comments on the lead and zinc industry. I've also sent articles earlier also to your magazine in the past. I wish you all the best, and we want you to grow, and along with you, we will also grow, I think, in our industry, our perspectives, etc. Now, you asked about the global metal scenario. Last 1 year or so, we are seeing slowdown in China. Their GDP is around 5% now, while India's GDP is around 6.2, 6.3%, etc., which is really very good. One, China slowed down, and then global uncertainties, particularly in European Union, energy cost, etc., going up. They have been having a very tough time. Then comes the change in the White House in the US. Very turbulent messages from day one. The day he took over, he has been targeting China, Canada, Mexico. India also is on the hit list. Wait for April 2nd. He's going to come up with some reciprocal taxation. He calls it reciprocal taxation. I would say retaliation taxation. With Canada, he has imposed 50% duty on steel and aluminium, which is keeping it on hold for the time being till April 2nd. Today, the duty on Canada is 25%, similar to Mexico with China. And for your information, our minister, Commerce Industry Minister, was there recently in the US for developing a bilateral trade agreement. Again, he's going to go today, tomorrow for the second round of meeting in 1 month. They want to discuss between government to government so that we can fine tune the taxation on both sides. But Trump has been telling even during the election campaign, even earlier also, that India is a high taxing nation. That is kept in mind. So we are wanting to avoid any unpleasant situation before April 2nd. That's why our Commerce Minister has gone there again and again.
Mr. Piyush Goyal.
Piyush Goyal is going anytime today, tomorrow, etc. Now, this kind of a turbulence is created in the global metals trade. Everyone is pulling their socks. European Union, yesterday, they announced a tariff amounting to 260 billion US dollars in response to US tax revenue of 28 billion US dollars. See the retaliation. What you do, we will also do. Now, countries are trying to develop individual relationship. Chinese foreign minister said some nice words about India. And the Chinese president very recently, for the first time in his history, he called all the private industry businessmen, captains of industry in Beijing. had a big gathering there, and he has told them the times are changing. Chinese dumping, China exporting is all under threat. So he has told the private sector, let's gear up, whether we can look for additional markets, whether we can stimulate domestic consumption in China. So they are also gearing up. India also. Fortunately, India is not a big exporting nation to US. Metal-wise, we may be doing others. Like Mr. Chauhan said, aluminum die-cast components, etc., go there. And they're also buying a lot of components from Canada. So there are exports, but we are not a big, we are third largest, US is third largest trade-wise for India. European Union, maybe some other parts are there. So US only third. And we are not really unduly worried because by the time April 2nd, there will be some fine tuning, duties going down in India with respect to US, and they will also bring it down. So for the time being, the industry in Indian industry, whether steel or non-ferrous, they will all hold their expansion ideas for some time. They will not go for expansion which they announced 3 months, 6 months ago. And now Indian industry will look for other markets, Southeast Asia, West Asia, maybe Latin America, maybe Africa, etc. That's what we'll have to do. More than that, I think one important message I want to give you, right from the beginning, India is not either export dependent or import dependent. You may be import dependent for crude oil, but not for many things. Cement, steel, non-ferrous metal, fertilizers. We are having indigenous capacity for production. We are also consuming all of them in the country. Our exports will not be very big. I read about our steel exports to US. It's less than 1 lakh tons. That is all. That's all. It's not a big 3 or 5 lakh, etc. It's not a big quantum. Similarly, if you look at other metals also, we are not a big exporter. But as Mr. Chauhan said, you also mentioned, fortunately, this country, one, GDP growth, buying power of the citizens, see the vehicles, cars and electric vehicles, mobiles, iPhone, everything coming, selling like hotcake in this country. Purchase power of the people, and then aspiring population to go to the next levels of standards of living. That's how India is aspiring. In addition to all this, our investments, you mentioned that, infrastructure, railways, highways, power, telecom, renewable energy, everywhere we are putting plenty of money. You'd be surprised. We started late in solar energy. Today, India is known for its very huge capacity. Our 200 gigawatt of the solar energy capacity is there in the country. The headquarters of International Solar Alliance is in Gurgaon. International Solar Alliance Secretariat is here. Now, look, this kind of a growth happening in this sector. You see world-class airports, world-class expressways, world-class highways, bridges, all kinds of things happening. And this is something remarkable with India infrastructure investment. See the way highways minister is doing things quietly, silently, it's just changing. State highways, rural roads, etc. You see visibly a different change in the country. And similarly, railway electrification. We almost achieved 90-95% railway electrification. Earlier, we were having coal, steam, lot of things, and diesel. Now it's all electrified. Can you believe that? And so this kind of a thing. And automotive production, I don't have to tell you much. We were a very small player in automobile production. There were days, Mr. Chauhan will know, because he may be similar to my age, cars were considered a luxury long time ago. That fellow is having a car. That's how people will talk about. Maybe about 30, 40 years back. But today, cars, scooters have become a necessity. It is no longer a luxury. Public transport is not reliable like in Singapore or other countries. So you have to have your own vehicle or scooters or whatever. We are the fourth largest automobile producing country. That's it. And then infrastructure, automobile, construction. Infrastructure, individual housing, world-class again, hotels, hospitals, colleges, campuses. You shall see them. It's a completely different kind of thing you are seeing here. IT park and many other things are coming in this country. So these three things are really triggering the metals growth. Infrastructure, construction, and automobiles. Coming to lead and zinc, since others also have to speak, lead and zinc, we were a very small player when India was having zinc production in the hands of a public sector, Hindustan Zinc. 2002, it was privatized. Vedanta, Anil Agarwal took over. He has really done, Vedanta has done wonderful work. Hindustan Zinc expanded their mining capacity, smelting capacity, power capacity. Today, they are having one of the world's third largest zinc smelter in the world, making about 9 lakh tons of zinc they are making in the country. And most of it, about 7 lakh or 7.5 lakh tons, is consumed in this country. 7.5, 7 lakh tons of zinc being consumed in the country, and about 1 lakh or 1.5. They want to have some strategic export presence also. And in India, the zinc consumption, if you look at 75% of zinc goes for protecting the steel structures, telecom towers, railway electrification towers, and all the support structures for solar panels. They're all galvanized. And highway guardrails are galvanized. So everything is galvanized in this country. But if you look at how much is galvanized, how much is non-galvanized, there's a big gap. Companies and government department, they want to save money. Why go for galvanizing? Let's go for a cheaper alternative like painting. And they will have to do painting every 2 years. With galvanizing, 50 years maintenance-free corrosion protection there. That's why you got all the towers you see exposed, various infrastructure, they are all hot dip galvanized, and you don't have to do any maintenance. They just, you have to give the desired coating weight as per the IS specification for different coastal area, rural area, industrial area, normal cities where you hardly any corrosion, etc. So you have to apply the desired coating and get a long maintenance-free life. Then comes die casting, which Mr. Chauhan talked about, the components. Zinc die casting, aluminum die casting, they are all being made in this country. And most of it goes for our own automobile production. I have been telling in my industry association, automobile is one for die casting. Let us develop non-automotive applications. Automotive applications are growing, but there are many non-automotive applications where there's a huge potential. What are they? Builders hardware, heat sinks, decorative components. These all can be die cast in huge volume. Die casting machine, if you see, every second a component comes out, then they cut and trim and do electroplating, etc. So that's a huge capacity there in this country. And we are the best die casters in Gurgaon, in Chennai, Pune, etc. They are exporting components to Audi, Volkswagen, name any car in Europe, it's all going from India. Then the zinc dry cell battery, that I don't have to talk much. It's all used in clocks and watches, remotes, etc. Everyday, etc. is there. Coming to lead, lead is a big activity. We consume about 1.5 million tons of lead, say 15 lakh tons of lead. 75% goes for lead batteries. 75% automotive batteries, railway batteries, telecom batteries, UPS, inverters, they're all growing applications. The latest is the e-rickshaws. They're all running on lead batteries. Lithium batteries are coming for getting a longer range. Their energy capacity is high. You can drive long distance with lithium batteries, etc. And this 1.5 million tons of lead consumed in the country, you will be surprised, all of you, 1 lakh tons of lead is all recycled from used lead battery. Out of 1.5 million, 1 million is all recycled, secondary lead industry from used batteries, and about 2.5 lakh tons from Hindustan Zinc, lead primary production, and the remaining 2.5 is the import. So that's a lead scenario. But what is more important, I want to tell you, which is really bothering me. While we take pride in saying we are a big secondary lead recycling nation, we have informal recycling units, very unhealthy, polluting, not good for the environment. That's sizable in this country, which we have been telling CPCB, MOF, etc., State Pollution Control Board, but somehow they are not strictly implementing the regulation. The policeman is not strict, you know what will happen. The regulatory bodies are not strict. That is why this informal sector is thriving. We have to see that informal activity comes down to very small percentage, maybe 5% or whatever. India should have most of them eco-friendly units, green recycling plant, Gravita in Jaipur. If you go and see them, that is similar to what you see in Europe. Very clean works. So similarly, we should have more and more lead recycling plant in this country. So I would like to confine my remarks with these initial remarks. I'm always with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pugazhenthy. I want to come back to you regarding some questions. I do agree with you that we are indeed in a very exciting period. We are seeing the growth of our country, and there are a lot of challenges as well as opportunities, and really exciting period, I would say. Secondly, as you rightly said, that the Indian economy is mostly dependent on the domestic consumption and not on imports or exports. So to that extent, we are shielded from the tremors of the economic fluctuations from all over the world, including what is happening in Europe and other parts of the world now. So I will, with this comments, I would like to go to Mr. Mayur Karmarkar. Mr. Karmarkar, we would like to know from you the present status of copper industry in India, how it is contributing to the economic development, and what do you think are the challenges before this industry today? Mr. Karmarkar.
Thank you, Mr. Chandekar. And I would extend to what we talked about lead and zinc story earlier. I mean, since today we all are from different metal industry, and metal is an important component for the economic development, including copper. And if you see the principle of economics, overall, the metal development curve is a S curve. So as per our understanding, the initial threshold where the slope for the growth is relatively low is up to GDP capita, GDP per capita up to 2,000, 2,500. When the GDP per capita starts really growing, the commodity demand, the metal commodity demand growth is faster, and therefore the S curve will have a very high slope, and commodity will rise faster than the GDP growth. And this S curve is validated through different economic development cycle. And we have to also understand our time of economic development is such where we are on the globalization 2.0. We are also at the time where the net zero and the environmental, restrictions or environmental commitments are far more for the infrastructure development. So when we look at the India, today we are the world's largest population. Our GDP per capita is almost 2,500. We account only 3.4% of the global GDP or the global economy, but population is 17.8%, which is very high. Now, when you come back to copper, our per capita consumption is only 1.1 kilo versus the global average of 3.3 kilos. So we are deficit with copper to the economy compared to the global average. Now, in a changing scenario, with particularly if you compare, the comparison of China is quite interesting. There's a lot of learning from China because they are the similar size of the population. So they started this commodity development or commodity demand curve way back in 2000. And today for copper, they have reached more than 9 kilos per capita demand of copper, which is tremendously high. So if we really see where was our reset in terms of commodity growth, and our reset, I thought, was if the COVID period was a reset. The pandemic period was a reset. After that, all commodity, including copper, has started seeing the higher growth rate. And our growth rate today is on an average 16%, for last 3 or 4 years for copper, which is historic in nature. Now, if you see the future with the infrastructure development and all net zero commitment coming in, also the Prime Minister's vision of developed economy having $32 trillion economy by 2047, the dreams are really are clear now. I mean, the visualization of the dreams are very clear. Now, with respect to that, where we are today on a copper demand, we are still less than, I would say, 4% of the global copper demand, which is much smaller, which is more or less closer to our contribution to the global GDP. And there's a lot to have. Now, unfortunately, compared to the other metal resources, we are not blessed with the copper mines as compared to, other minerals, for example, bauxite or zinc. And that's not unique for India. When China started development, they also didn't have these resources. Japan don't have resources at all. Korea didn't have resources. Germany didn't have resources. And therefore, rightly, we started developing the processing industry. So smelting refining capacities in India. With a little setback of 2018 of Vedanta's closure, we are still boosting the production capacity, processing capacity of the copper, so that copper downstream would be benefited out of it. As we know that the copper concentrate is highly traded copper commodity in the world in all the metals, particularly non-ferrous metal. We will continue with the trading of importing of those concentrate like other parts of the world is done. Even in case of Europe, the copper concentrate is imported. Europe don't have enough mines overall. So that will be the future for us as far as the production or the mining of copper is concerned. Our dependency on the ore will continue to be there, and that is like any other country. What we are doing as the status of current industry status, we are adding smelting refining capacity. We have, after the closure of Vedanta, we had a setback. Our capacity was only limited to Hindalco. But now with Adani coming up online and the future planned capacity expansions of other key players, we will be having sufficient smelting refining capacity to meet at least 2030 demand going forward. The latter than that, I'm sure the industry will take all corrective actions and will invest in smelting refining as the status. Another challenge with respect to our industry, like lead, we have a larger secondary industry and the scrap. And recycling is a good thing, but we don't have a recycling, what we call a remelting overall of copper. So we use scrap extensively. In fact, our collection rate of copper scrap is close to 100%, which is also highest in the world, because copper is such a commodity wherein the rack picker can identify and take out that commodity and it goes back into some stream for the reuse through remelting. We have a challenge related to the having this transparency of that sector. Most of the operations are still on the cash, and there are the issues of the billing issues. There are the GST issue because of the unorganized sector being there. But more to that, we also have a larger issue of quality of copper coming in. Now, this is the larger concern overall for the industry at the moment. Now, imagine if we can refine the scrap which is coming in and made at par with the quality of the product which is coming through primary route. I think that's going to benefit the country in a longer term.
Thank you, Mr. Karmarkar, for your opening remarks and elaborating the status of the copper industry today. Now I would like to go to Mr. Chauhan for his status report about aluminum. And then, of course, to Mr. Kamlesh Jogi. But before that, Mr. Jogi, these people are from one industry, like primary metal manufacturing. And you would be telling us about the mitigation of risk. So there are one or two common questions which I would like to ask to these people before I finally go to you. I hope you don't mind.
Fine, sir, no issues. But I think whatever metals they are covering, we all of
Absolutely,
these
I
metals
know.
are available on our platform, and I think
Absolutely, absolutely,
people
absolutely.
will be interested knowing about these metals in
Yeah,
detail,
yeah,
what
yeah.
products we offer, and
Yeah, yeah.
how they
Just
can mitigate the risk.
absolutely. I agree with you. Just give me a few minutes. I would like to go to Mr. Chauhan for his insight about the aluminum industry. Mr. Chauhan, please.
See, as I said earlier, the future of aluminum looks very promising and bright as far as our country is concerned. And demand for this aluminum and its product is likely to go up in the near future. The industries like die casting industries will keep on growing up. And one other important industry which I think is the construction industry with a lot of boom in the construction field. The simple product like aluminum window frames, door frames, and other aluminum extruded products, they will also have a great demand. And there is no shortage of such products in India. They are being made in India, and the quality is also reasonably good. So overall, I feel with the increase of construction industry and automobile industry's demand, the demand for aluminum products will be more and more. And all it needs is some support from government industry in terms of giving tax benefits or some such things. One word of caution, however, just recently happening is that President of United States, Mr. Donald Trump, who has been playing mischief by increasing the tariff on various products. So we need to watch and see how far aluminum products export are affected. But perhaps this may be a blessing in disguise because if because Indian manufacturers are smart enough, if they find that exporting these products to US is difficult, then they will find greener pastures. They will find other customers, other countries, and try to make up for the loss of export which they are suffering. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, okay. So overall, aluminum industry also seems to be on a growth track. That is very good. So I am just coming to what Mr. Chauhan mentioned lastly. That was about the exports and imports, international trade. Sir, Mr. Pugazhenththy, Mr. Karmarkar, and Mr. Chauhan, I would like to ask you one more question before I finally go to Mr. Kamlesh Jogi. That if there is a tariff war going on. Mr. Trump is saying that whatever tariff you levy on our products, we will levy the same tariff to you. He says we will have to go through an exercise of equalization. Okay, that's very fine. So if as we know, China is exporting a lot to America, and if the US increases the tariff, there is a likelihood that China would have to dump its material to other countries, including India. So now, how far is the threat from your respective industries, for lead and zinc, for aluminum, and for copper, from dumping from China? That is point number one. Question number one I want to ask. And secondly, even if Indian government levies import duties or some injury duty or something on Chinese goods, what can we do about FTA route? Because through FTA route, we cannot stop metals coming from these countries, and China can route imports to exports to India through those countries. So how is the scenario developing? What is your perception, starting with Mr. Pugazhenththy?
Chandekar Saab, yesterday there was a meeting in Ministry of Commerce in Delhi.
Yeah.
All the alarms coming from US, there was a
Mhm.
discussion in the Commerce Ministry, industry guys were there.
Yeah.
Steel, textile, all the sectors were there. The conclusion was Let's wait and watch what they are going to do. Before that, April 2nd, there will be fine tuning quietly by our Commerce Minister. We will bring down. These are the areas, and you also bring down in those areas from US. There's going to be a moderation
What I'm
done by the.
asking is, what is the sentiment within zinc industry? Are those people worried that China
Not,
will be dumping in India?
not at all. I tell you,
At all. Okay.
7.5 lakh tons of zinc. It's all being consumed
It's
here.
that's very pleasant to hear that zinc people are not worried. I
Yes,
would like.
look at the players, Tata Steel, JSW, Kalpataru. They are
Yeah.
all big players doing work for India, and they are also exporting transmission line towers. Many countries, Venezuela, Mexico, wherever you go, you will find that transmission line tower miles and miles long, or rail, it's all supplied by Indian galvanizers. And
Okay,
most
okay,
of it
that's
is
very
going
good.
there.
That's
Nothing
very good
happening.
to hear.
Ca-
That's very,
Coming to your China story, you're talking
yeah,
about dumping
yeah,
and all that.
yeah.
Minister has already said, steel minister, we are planning for a 15% safeguard duty. They are
Yeah.
waiting so that China's import can be minimized. Now the ball is in our court. How do we stimulate more and more steel, more and more non-ferrous metal in our own country? There's plenty of opportunities unexplored, and
That's
that is
okay.
where
That's
market.
okay. That is different thing. I am just asking how to prevent China from dumping in the country. So there is one way you told that there is a anti-injury duty which we are going to levy
Safe,
for 15%, and then
safeguard,
safeguard duty.
safeguard
Sorry,
duty.
not anti-injury, safeguard duty.
Safeguard.
Safeguard duty. But what about the FTA route, sir?
FTF, we have been having, for instance, with South Korea.
Yeah, with
There's a big
Thailand,
Korea.
with UAE, we have not.
Thailand is not a big zinc producing country. Korea zinc is a big player. With
Yeah.
South Korea, we have an FTA, but their import into India is very limited, despite FTA.
I am saying
Hindustan zinc,
that China will route its product through these countries because we
we
have
don't,
FTA with those countries.
actually zinc or lead, I have not seen coming from China or from third world countries. I have not seen anything.
Okay,
Maybe steel, maybe other items, etc.
let's
But
go to Mr. Karmarkar. Mr. Karmarkar, what is your perception of what is your views on the subject? Sir, you are mute, I think. You are mute.
Yeah, as a ICA, we are bound by the certain legalities. And I don't comment on the commercial part, but in general, what I can say is that, transferring the base metal from one country and routing to another country is an inexpensive proposal. Ultimately, any imported good coming here with any duty has to compete with domestic production. And as long as the domestic industry remains competitive, then I don't think we will have more worry about all this dumping happening. The challenge is where there is no industry or the weaker industry. And I think in those type of the products there is always a challenge.
And what is the sentiment in the copper industry? Not worried about the Trump duty changes proposals?
We are not an exporter, so we don't
Yeah, you are
export
not
anything
we are not
US. So no, but for
Yeah.
other commodity, yeah, it is a problem.
Yeah, one question I wanted to ask you that you are supporting a lot of technology based ventures in the copper industry. So can you share something about this activity of yours?
Yeah, so we work on, the current trend overall is in terms of reduction of the weight and improving the performance. So I will run through example, like the aircon industry, particularly the heat exchanger tubes used in aircon. So particularly when Indian industry really went into transformation, they adopted the radiator technology of automobile. And then that has created larger quality problem in a country, particularly the corrosive atmosphere has created huge havoc for the aircon OEM. So together with the aircon industry, we have helped we facilitate them to bring this small diameter copper tube technology, which are the inner groove tubes. Now, those inner groove tubes, the diameter is 4 mm, which helps to save the material, reduce the copper weight, but also it helps to improve the efficiency performance, the refrigerant charge in the air conditioner. So it is an environmental benefit, the cost benefit which comes along with this adoption of this technology. So this technology we developed in China together with the Chinese OEM. And I'm very proud to say that today all Indian OEMs are using this small diameter technology for the air conditioner that is helping them to keep product competitive, make it more reliable, and no leakage problem. Plus, that's also helping them to make the commitments towards the ozone depletion potential and also the energy efficiency overall.
Thank you, Mr. Karmarkar. And I would now like to go to Mr. Chauhan about his comments on
Yes.
import duty of aluminum and what is the sentiment in the aluminum industry. Are they worried about the dumping from China, or they are as Mr. Pugazhenththy was saying, no, there is no such thing in the industry.
Yeah, I think I entirely agree with the views of Mr. Pugazhenththy. In the short term, they can have some effect, but in India, we have big association for ferrous, non-ferrous metal industries. And the moment they find that there is a dumping by other countries, they will make hue and cry and approach the government and try to compensate for the their losses of cost.
Okay.
So government will have to take action and they will safeguard their interest. So that's my feeling.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So now I would like to go to Mr. Kamlesh Jogi. We all know that all these metals buying and trading, it will have to have some fluctuations. Metal prices do fluctuate, and if you are a project manager, if you are using the metals for some project, some construction work, some infrastructure development work, then their price fluctuation may affect your budget, may actually affect your project itself. So to nullify these price fluctuations, to mitigate this risk, the commodity exchanges are there to explain you how you can mitigate the risk in buying metals, in using metals. And here is Mr. Kamlesh Jogi explaining us how to mitigate risk in metal buying. So, Mr. Kamlesh Jogi, all yours.
Thank you so much, sir. I think whatever things we were discussing right now, it's a trade war. It's one first step of trade war is going on, and now there will be reciprocal tariffs will be there. Before that, we have seen Russia-Ukraine war and their effect were there on aluminium prices, and before that, we have seen COVID lockdowns, and there were impact on prices. So I think it's a very big headache for the people who consume base metals as a raw material and they provide finished goods. So it's a big headache for them. But by the God grace or by the government policies, we are there. We have a platform where people can manage their risk. And I'll just go through my presentation where you can see it, how we can mitigate the price risk. So I hope my slide is visible to you all.
Yes,
Visible.
yes,
Visible. Visible.
So I'll just give you a brief introduction about MCX. MCX started its operation in 2003, and it's under the preview of SEBI right now, and we are regulated by SEBI. Then recently this FIA, which provide the worldwide ranking. So MCX commodity options are in the number one. And the second thing is we are the largest commodity exchange in India, and we are the world's sixth largest commodity derivative exchange in the world. Our highest turnover was somewhere around 5 lakh crore on 13 January 2025, and we are doing good in number of in all the metals segment. So what different kind of products are available on our platform is we have futures and options. In futures, we are having bullion, then industrial metals, energy and agriculture commodities, and there are few indices are also available. So if you talk about industrial metals, futures are available in aluminum, copper, lead, nickel, steel, and zinc. And we have one metal index which comprise of aluminum future, copper future, lead future, and zinc future. So the full basket of futures derivatives are available with us. Then in option segment, we have options available into gold, silver in bullion segment. In energy segment, products are available into crude oil and natural gas. Then we have options on base metals, copper and zinc are available for trading. Then basically, what is price risk? As we all understand that because there are a lot of things are happening around the world, geopolitical tensions are there, and it is going to have impact on the prices of all the metals. So that is the price risk. Basically, whatever price is trading today, after 2 months or 3 months, when there will be multiple changes in the fundamentals or scenario, we can see that prices will be having 3 consequences. One is either prices will remain the same. Then second scenario is either prices will go up or prices will go down. Now we are discussing about tariff and free trade agreements, FTAs. So if FTAs are allowed, then what will happen in India? Prices will start going down because there will be a huge supply into the market, or prices will go up if there are some trade restrictions in global market. So we cannot predict futures price exactly, but how it is going, how these fluctuations are affecting companies' profit margin basically. So if you see in different base metals have a different annualized price volatility. For example, aluminium, which fluctuated around 16.2% in calendar year 2024. Copper fluctuated around almost 17% in the last year. Lead prices were almost up or down by 10.5%. Nickel prices were fluctuated around 18%, steel 6.5%, and zinc was the highest and its prices fluctuated around 19.2%. So if there is this kind of volatility into the market, it is obviously going to have effect on the balance sheet of the different companies which are consuming these products. So I'll just give you one example. For example, this copper. So if a company which is continuously buying copper and making finished goods, for example, they are buying copper rods and they are making copper wires. If there is a fluctuation of 16.7% in a particular year, the company's balance sheet will be either up by 16.7% or will be down by 16.7% only because of there is a fluctuation in the prices. So that's why there is a requirement, a need for the people, these companies to hedge this price risk basically. Then if you are hedging this price risk, how it is going to benefit you? First thing is it is going to give you the price stability. For example, you are consuming metals and you are giving finished goods. If your buying price is stable, then you are able to quote a better selling price to your buyer. So first thing is that you can get a price stability. Then it improves your financial planning. Then you are able to manage this risk. Then it enhances your company's credit worthiness. It gives you the competitive advantage over other companies. Some large companies are already hedging their prices, so they are quoting better prices than your company. Then it basically stabilizes your supply chain. So if you are buying something at a different prices and it's varying, if you are locking your prices on time and you are taking measures to stop that price risk, it is going to help you all. So there are different products in metal segment which are available on MCX platform. You can see aluminium. We have 2 contracts. One is aluminium regular contract, which is 5 metric ton, and aluminium mini, which is 1 metric ton contract. Then in copper, we have 2.5 metric ton contract. Then zinc, it is a 5 metric ton contract, and zinc mini is a 1 metric ton contract. Nickel is 1.5 metric ton contract. Lead is 5 metric ton contract, and lead mini is 1 metric ton contract. So these are some contract specification which are available on our platform, where you can use these products and has your price risk. So one best thing about exchange traded platform is that either be it a trade war or be it any geopolitical concern, if you are taking price or you are utilizing our MCX prices for hedging, then there won't be any much effect on your portfolios. For example, geopolitical disruptions are going on, prices will vary, but if you have locked your prices by using hedging techniques, then your effect on your portfolio or effect on your inventory will be very less. We have seen that COVID lockdowns. During the COVID lockdowns, what happened that people were not allowed to go out. They were not able to execute the trade, whatever material or metals they were having with them, where the stocks inventory were lying them, but when they were not able to sell. Those people who were using MCX platform, they executed their selling orders on our platform, and people got deliveries from our warehouses. So basically MCX is providing a market of last resort. When nothing is available, MCX platform is there where you can take the delivery and give the delivery. If you see physical trading at MCX happening in a large number since 2019, these MCX products were become compulsorily delivery contract, and since then, I think 452,000 metric ton of metals have been delivered on exchange platform. Aluminium, if you see, it was 23,500 metric ton. Lead was 12,000 metric ton, and so on and so forth. You can see into the this picture that from January 2024 to January 2025. So this much of metal has been delivered, and total delivery has been 452,000 metric ton since 2019. So size is big. Those are taking advantage. Many large players are available with us. They are hedging. They are giving delivery on our platform. Even some of the Indian brand from lead are getting delivered. Not only LME brands, but Indian brands are also now getting delivered on our exchange platform. So companies can utilize this platform. You can see some quality specification. If copper you are dealing, copper A grade copper cathodes are you can deliver on our platform. In lead, some Indian brands are now available for delivery. So you can deliver those lead brands on our platform. Aluminium, nickel, and zinc. All these are specific quantities are given. You can deliver at our platform. So that's it from my side, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Jogi, and definitely people would be taking advantage of such platforms for hedging, for mitigating the risk in the metal buying. Yeah. Can you close the screen, please?
Yes, sir. I'll do that.
Yeah. So it's very important for metal industry to have some mitigation, risk mitigation mechanism. So commodity exchanges are definitely providing this mitigation exercise, mitigation platform. So that brings us to the end of this session. But before I close down, I would like to ask the final, a final comment from each of you about their respective field. Maybe Mr. Pugazhenththy can talk about lead and zinc, and Mr. Karmarkar on copper, Mr. Chauhan on aluminum, and Mr. Jogi on the risk mitigation itself. So how do you see the future, short term as well as long term? Very short, maybe 2-3 lines, starting with Mr. Pugazhenththy. How do you see?
As far as the future is concerned, India is consuming more and more steel. We are the second largest steel producer, mostly consumed within the country. And as I said, 80% goes for corrosion protection.
Yeah.
Here I want to mention quickly for the knowledge of all of you, India's corrosion losses is around 4% of our GDP, which is a huge number.
Huge number.
We have a deficit budget every year, national budget or union budget. So I would say, in fact, steel, the largest consumer in the country is the government sector. state and central government, it's going everywhere. So I would sincerely think the government should think they should really go for a very forward-looking measure. Whatever steel is exposed, don't go for cheaper alternative and burn fingers. Go for corrosion protection, save money and use that money for social projects or other construction or other infrastructure activities. In the case of lead, the regulatory bodies have to tighten their screws. We have to see that the informal sector is not only in lead, e-waste, medical waste, everywhere it is thriving. Trader and informal sector, that is injurious and environmentally unsound. Our regulatory bodies have to wake up. This is the time they have to start acting very strictly. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Pugazhenththy. Mr. Karmarkar, please.
Yeah, I mean,
Last minutes.
the one of the most important thing going forward, the large sector copper industry is very much geared up to make the dream of developed India happen, and they will continuously keep investing in that. The challenge remains largely with respect to the secondary sector. The largely secondary sector's mindset is the trader mindset. They have been working with the taxes and duties arbitrage, and they have to largely focus on more value addition and creating the presence of an industry more visible, contributing to the global economy rather than living in a typical trading arbitrage.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your advice to secondary copper sector as well. Mr. Chauhan, please.
Yes, as far as the aluminum sector is concerned, I feel future for the aluminum sector is quite bright. All that needs to be done is to increase the production and make the aluminum, basic aluminum plants world-class capacity plant, so that the cost per ton of production comes down. And as far as the secondary market is concerned, there is a huge, there is a good need for more emphasis on R&D, research and development activities. And construction industries, of course, they have to, increase their volume so that they get the benefit of, again, the lower production. So these are the 3-4 more important points.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chauhan.
Okay, I can.
Yeah. Now I go to Mr. Kamlesh. Mr. Kamlesh, your last remarks.
Sir, just like I already told in my presentation that there are many Indian brands are now readily available, and you can take delivery and give delivery on our exchange platform. Even gold also, we are taking delivery from Indian brands, and now lead we have started. And I think we will look forward for more value chain participant people come on our platform and they start hedging, and they use our platform for risk management. That's a good wish we can give on this pleasure evening of Holi. So that's all the wish we can give.
Of course, of course. So that comes to the that brings us to the end of this session. Very interesting and very insightful discussion. And I would like to thank each of you for sparing your time and sharing your insights with the industry. Thank you, Mr. Pugazhenththy. Thank you, Mr. Karmarkar. Thank you, Mr. Chauhan. And thank you, Mr. Kamlesh, for your insightful presentation also. And we now close here. And thank you very much. Thank you.
Wish you all a happy Holi.
Yes, happy Holi to everybody. Thank you.
Happy Holi, sir. Happy Holi to
Which
everyone.
Kamlesh was telling. Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.